Cracking toast, Gromit.
Wow, that was not a good impression.
Fuck off.
Because I can't do a better one. I can do a very good impression of Gromit. Would you like to hear it?
Go on. Oh!
I know, stunning, isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
Uncanny.
I have to say, I fucking love Wallace and Gromit, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I love most is the fact that Gromit never speaks. He does the occasional yelp every now and then, like he does in The Wrong Trousers, but he's so emotive in spite of the fact that he never speaks a word.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Like,
he's
just really good.
and
Anyway,
he's so industrious as well.
yes, electrical engineering for dogs. It always makes me. We watched, because they're all on Netflix. All the Wallace and Gromit ones are. So we watched a few of them. Chloe and I did. And we watched Were Rabbit, and they are all so good.
Yeah.
It's like there's just so much. There's so much going on in every single frame. Like in Gromit's room, how the wallpaper is like blue with little bones.
Yeah.
And then in The Wrong Trousers, when the penguin comes and takes his room, it becomes pink with little yellow fish. It's really just brilliant.
That's very detailed. Sadly, I've only watched The Curse of the Were Rabbit. So.
In your entire life?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, this is almost as bad as the time you said you've never watched Eurovision.
No, I've not watched. I still haven't watched Eurovision after the. Funnily enough, the Will Ferrell film didn't convert me.
The actual Eurovision, you have to watch it and bear in mind, and if you go into it thinking everything that I see for the next 4 hours is going to be shit, then you'll have a fantastic time. Right. If you go into it expecting high quality performances, you're not going to have a good time. But if you go in thinking everything's going to be really shit and Scandinavia it's going to be some bloke on a unicycle with some bagpipes, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be something really weird.
Right, okay.
If you go into it with that attitude and a lot of alcohol, it is utterly brilliant.
Well,
I was very shocked when you came down to our house that you had never before had a Subway.
No, I hadn't.
No, and then we ordered one on Uber Eats, and you were like, "Wow, this is really good."
It was delicious.
This is nice. I
really liked it. Yeah, I haven't had one since, but I really liked it.
well, I suppose that's good.
But yeah, I've not done a lot of things. Jesus Christ, try to fucking do the mental gymnastics there. Sorry, folks, for that brain fart. Jeez.
Oh, it's all right. We've both had a strenuous day. We were talking about it before we started recording. Like, you've got some mysterious people on your roof.
Yeah, there's some
doing
people.
Work, or they might just be breaking in.
Some people on my roof that I haven't inquired about. So fuck knows what they're doing.
Haven't you got a skylight?
What?
Haven't you got a skylight in your bedroom?
I do, yeah.
So did you not wake up and look out the window and there was just a bloke outside going, "What the fuck's going on in there?"
I don't want to look out and then I don't know how to describe. You know, like if you catch someone doing something that's harmless, but embarrassing, and then it's just awkward for both people. Not that I'm saying that climbing on my roof is harmless. I mean, it's very creaky and they could break in. The walls could. Do you hear that?
I do hear that.
Yeah, that's them.
Oh, lovely. I presume they're nailing down some shingles or something.
Harmless.
Harmless except to the podcast. Only the finest audio content for you wonderful listeners.
Yep.
Only the finest content that we produce.
I mean, it's been a while since we've had any hiccups, so, you know, it was only natural.
That today everything would go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
But anyway, I'm going to spin the wheel because I've bought it and it's here, so I need to use it.
When you spin it, one of these blokes on your roof's going to look in the window. What the fuck is that? It's a massive. That sounds like a massive cricket rubbing its legs together. Jesus.
Okay, here we go. Shut up, you fucking. You hear that?
Yes, I do.
Is he a fucking?
Genuinely, it sounds like they're hammering tiles down or something.
Is he a judge with a gavel? Make a Eurovision song with just the wheel and his hammering.
Today on the bullshit, I would like to talk about the odyssey of mail to my house.
Jeez, the bullshit has just become shit that goes wrong in Lewis's house. The bathroom's broken. Now there's the mailman.
The thing is, right, we live on essentially the dead centre of like an estate, which means that during this whole coronavirus pandemic, when people aren't coming into work, sometimes the post doesn't turn up, and we're like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but I kind of get it. It kind of makes sense. I guess that is gonna happen. But then we went for like a week and didn't get any post. We'd ordered things off like online shopping or whatever, and they just didn't turn up, and we were like, well, is it ever gonna turn up? Yeah. So we ended up calling up the Royal Mail lines, like the helpline, and saying, hi, we haven't had any post for about a week and a half. Why? Apparently, it turns out that without me or anybody else in the street knowing, only my street is on an elaborate rota system with a couple of other streets in the neighbourhood.
Right.
But right, okay. Imagine this, listeners. You have a big sort of horseshoe shape, and it's like it's upright, like a sort of like a lowercase n. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Dan. Give me something here, Dan. But, like,
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking to them. I was just. Sorry, I'll fill in for them. Yeah. Yeah,
thanks. And then you have to come up at the right side of that N to get round then you go round the corner and into another smaller N, which is upside down like a U on the inside of the N. So basically, my house is a street on a bigger street. And we know people in the neighbourhood because we live here, so of course we do. And we said, are you getting post? And they said, yeah, we get post on our street like every day, every couple of days. Yeah. And we talked to our neighbours and they said, no, we haven't had post in fucking ages. Oh. What is going on? Yeah, turns out we're on this bizarre rota system where they only deliver our mail if they really feel like it.
Oh.
Which I suppose, yeah, they're short-staffed because of coronavirus and all that, but like, at least let me know that before you're going to start doing it.
Yeah,
come on
now. That's fair.
You're going to start hoarding all the post for Lewis Brindley. Like, no, he's not getting his letters today.
No, he's beyond our reach. He's over the county line.
Appeal from the gas company. Fuck that. Oh God. And that is part one of the saga that is our post.
Oh God.
Thinking, why the fuck aren't we getting our post for a week and a half at a time? What's going on? But we haven't resolved it. It's still irregular. But we do get post sometimes, so that's nice. Part two is involves medication. Right. Basically, I am on a prescription, which means that whenever I run out of the drugs, I can go to a pharmacy, get more drugs, and I can get them and then bring them back to my house. I discovered a service which I use called Echo, which is like, I think it's like an offshoot of Lloyd's Pharmacy or something, and you log into their website and they make sure that I am Lewis Brindley and I've got a prescription and all that. Yeah. And then you just press the right buttons and they just deliver it to your house. Guaranteed 24-hour delivery. I'm thinking, wow, that is fucking marvellous. Pretty incredible. Good. Fantastic. Because, to be quite honest, Dan, the pharmacy's fucking ages away and I can't be bothered to walk there.
No,
so
quite right.
I was thinking, yeah, great, I'll get it delivered. So I did, and it worked for ages, and one of the items on my prescription is like a fridge item. It has to be kept in a fridge. And so I was like, well, how are they going to deal with that posting it? Because they put it in with Royal Mail. And they said, well, for fridge items, we package them in like these cold packet things. Yeah. Which, I mean, they're weird, but they work, and it seems to keep the medication cold, so great. And we get you guaranteed, this is very critical, Dan, take notes, guaranteed, signed for, 24-hour delivery. Guaranteed, signed for, 24-hour delivery.
I'm gonna hazard a guess as to what comes next in this cornucopia of disaster.
Go on.
When they said guaranteed, was it not guaranteed?
Well, it seems to be, as with my other post, at the whim of the postman. because it's like a parcel rather than because for some reason, which probably makes a lot of sense if you start to look into the logistics of it, but I'm a dumbass, so I haven't. Letters are delivered at a different time to parcels, which is odd, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So this parcel that had guaranteed 24-hour delivery,
guaranteed.
They said, okay, it'll definitely turn up on the 19th or whatever it was. And so there I am, sat at my desk on the 19th, working away, deliberately not wearing any headphones, deliberately not got any music playing, because I'm thinking, when he knocks on the door, I want to know that I've heard him, so I can run downstairs, get it off him, sign for it, I don't know, smile at him, whatever it might be.
Smile at him?
Get the drugs. Well, I thought maybe it's some kind of smile tax with the postman or something. And and so I'm sat here working away, thinking, oh great, it's gonna get here at some point today. And I'm thinking, all right, that's lunchtime. Normally the post's arrived by now.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll go and have some lunch. Come back upstairs, carry on working, thinking it's 3:00. That's 4:00. But 4:30, I hear the letterbox go on our house. I mean, you know what a letterbox is, like the inside.
What's
letterbox
that?
of our house.
What's that?
But obviously the inside bit like sort of flips up as something gets posted through. Then as the item drops to the floor, the top letterbox thing swings down and hits our door, and it makes like quite a loud noise.
Yeah.
So I'm sat at my desk and I go, oh, somebody just posted a letter through, and I was thinking maybe it's a card for Chloe and I's wedding anniversary, which just happened. Maybe it's something like that. And I go downstairs. It's a something for you card, the guaranteed 24-hour delivery. The postman had looked at that and thought, well, fuck that. And he'd written on the card, come and get it from the depot, and posted that through my letterbox. So here I am, stood there, no socks on, just wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm furious and thinking, what a cunt! He hasn't even bothered to post it through the door. And I see him, he's walking down my driveway, parcel in hand. This man has not knocked on my door. He just drove up in front of my house and thought, well, there's no car, must mean nobody's here. And then he just sort of went up, posted it through the door, and then walked back to his van. And I open the front door and I go, oi! Have you got something for me? And he just goes, oh, yes, mate. And then he trudges his way back up the driveway as though it's the worst thing in the world to do what he's specifically being paid to do.
Cheeky bastard.
And then he hands the parcel to me and walks away. It's like, oh, you absolute bellend. Thing is, on our front door, obviously there's a door, but there was also a doorbell.
Yeah.
The doorbell didn't work because for some bizarre reason we can't find a battery that will fit in it.
Yeah.
So I took the doorbell off the wall, and now you have to knock on the door. You cannot do anything. The only thing you can do, unless you smash your face into the pavement or something, you have to knock on the door. So I know he didn't knock on the door.
Yeah.
Because I'm sat here in silence, and I just hear... So, oh, somebody's posted something. Okay.
Is that the noise your letterbox makes?
It's surprisingly close, yeah. And I went downstairs and I was vaguely furious about that. And I mentioned this to Chloe, and I was like, oh, I'm really annoyed about it. But like at the end of the day, I've got my drugs. They're in the fridge. It doesn't really matter that much. Like at the end of the day, it sucks, and he's an arsehole. But what can you really do about it? And she went, no, I'm going to complain about this. So I was like, are you sure? You don't have to. And she was like, no, I'm annoyed by this. I'm going to complain about it. She called them up and she was saying to them, like, it's guaranteed 24-hour delivery. If this thing stays out of the fridge for too long, it will no longer be useful medication and it'll be wasted money.
Yeah.
So are you going to pay us back for that? And she was talking to them and all that. And they said, right, okay, well, we'll give you a case number. We'll keep you informed of ongoing developments with this case. And we'll ask the manager to have a word with this specific postman that delivered this parcel.
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, I forgot this detail. On the something for you card, he put the tracking number of the parcel, and then as he handed the parcel to me, he says, "Can you just shred that or throw it away, that card, mate?" And I went, yeah, I suppose. We don't have a shredder. We have a little thing outside that would burn stuff in. So I put it on the pile of things to be burned.
Yeah.
Eventually, and I didn't think twice about it. And Chloe called up the helpline and said, okay, so have you got a tracking number? Because otherwise we won't be able to figure out which postman did this sort of thing.
Oh.
And yes, exactly. So she gave them the tracking number, and the case progressed and all that. Chloe got an email the other day that said the manager spoke to the postman who was involved in this situation, and he said he tried to knock several times. And it's like, what a bellend. But that is a slight thing that has happened in my life that I am slightly inconvenienced by, and it's annoyed me. So I thought I'd mention it on the podcast.
I mean that's bad. But Lewis, as a frontline worker, I'm obligated to take the postman's side in this matter. Even if he pissed in your doorstep, I would still be obligated because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be
right
daily doing a job that you just despise. Do you know what? There's a great quote from David Mitchell, that he was on QI and they were talking about should train attendees smile more when doing their job,
God.
And he was like, no, because you're doing a shite job. Of course you're going to be in a horrible mood. But no, that's really annoying.
It's the thing that I always gets me about I mean, it's that thing that David Mitchell quote is like, there are people in certain jobs I would say aren't paid enough to really care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the postman. He's not really paid enough to care. But
do you know what?
Still frustrated me.
Do you know what my motto is, Lewis?
What's that?
Minimum wage, minimum effort. That's my job. That's my motto. Do you know what I mean? It's so strange because see the job that I'm in, I'm not trusted, and yet I'm somehow given a greater amount of responsibility than I'm paid for. It's sort of this paradoxical relationship where it's like, oh, we're not gonna, pay you to be responsible, but we expect you to do all this extra stuff that you're not getting paid for. So it's like, it's so fucking bad. So maybe
it's almost as though exploiting the workers generates higher amounts of money for capitalist overlords. It's almost as though that's the how weird.
Do you know our manager said
did he come into work the other day and say, "Hi, I'm a capitalist king"?
No, he's not as bad. We're all in this WhatsApp group chat for and there's multiple branches, and each branch has their own group chat sort of thing. And we'd cleaned quite heavily that day. We'd put our sleeves up and applied some elbow grease, and
that was very Mrs. Doubtfire in a strange way. Put your sleeves up, did you? Apply some elbow grease.
Go and pump some neurons, expand your craniums. So we'd worked quite hard and we'd cleaned quite a lot. And our manager, I won't say his name. I'm not going to dox anyone. Our manager was like, well done, guys. That looks so much better. Well done. Just a regular sort of thank you sort of thing for putting a bit more effort in. And then we found out the week after that the owners had given him into trouble for telling us well done, because because that's our job and we should be doing that anyway.
That is utterly disgusting. So, it's like
see, even right. See, even if you're purely selfish, right, and you're purely about money, it makes sense to have a workforce that is motivated to work. And if you just so not only is it why you telling them thank you, that's their job. It's like, no, that's not our job. We went above the standards of our job to do a bit more, and then we got a thank you for it. That's the only. And then apparently no, you should be working that hard all the time for shit wages anyway. Fuck you.
I could not agree with you more. I mean, you hear all these sort of horror stories from the Amazon warehouses, don't you?
Yeah.
Like the one that immediately sprang to mind was an Amazon worker that had died on shift, sort of thing, in an Amazon warehouse. Which, obviously, it's a tragedy, but I can understand that it's sort of, with somebody employing as many people as Amazon do, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just about the odds in a strange way, yeah. And but they saw that what was it? If I remember right, it was he'd had a heart attack and collapsed. I think it was, and I think it was about 2 hours later that somebody passed by and decided to check on him and take his and be like, oh my god, he's dead. Oh my god, what do we do? And all the rest of it. But the previous day, he'd taken a break or put something into the wrong box or loaded a cable into the wrong crate, and 20 minutes later someone had come down and chastised him about it.
Yeah.
And it just makes you think, what? In what situation does that possibly make sense? Oh yeah, it's capitalist hell. We're all wage slaves.
Yeah, so I'll tell you another wee thing, because that's just reminded me. So I'm on the morning shift. I'm on the till, and I have another colleague who's stocking up, because that's the way it works. One serves and one stocks up, and it was what you normally do is you stock up before the kids come in from school, because then they just ransack the place and then they leave and then you stock up again. So we were making sure that everything was done for then, and everything was stocked up, and it was close to when the kids were coming in, and we take our breaks before that, so we make sure that we have them. And then some guy came in and bought 6 bottles of Buckfast,
Okay, what's that? Sorry.
It's tonic wine.
Oh, okay, right.
It's a sort of a chavvy drink.
Right.
Chavvy, yeah, $6.45 an hour, and I can call someone chav. But so he bought 6 of these things, and then I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna go for my break, and then my colleague went for his break, and the kids came in, and the area manager then showed up, as he often does on that day, and he came in, and what he does is he goes about, he takes pictures of things without context, posts them in the chat, and says, why has this not been done? So I don't know if he knows how the shop works, but you stock something up, you wait until it goes down, and then you stock it up again. So in the midst of when all these kids are in, absolutely demolishing the place, he comes in, takes pictures of the juice, takes pictures of the crisps that have just been ransacked, and says, why has this not been stocked? And you're like, well,
he sounds like I can't.
You know why? Because the kids have just been in, and lunch is just about to finish, and then we'll stock up again. That's why. And then he went to the Buckfast, didn't he? And everything in the alcohol section was stocked up, apart from those 6 bottles. And he took a picture of that and said, this is a disgrace. It takes half an hour to stock up this shop. Fucking bollocks, okay? It takes about 2 hours to do everything. And, so he posted that. And you're just like, okay, fine, whatever, don't give a shit. And then a new colleague came in who was just starting, and she was over the road helping the area manager taking stuff out of the van, and he basically called me and the other colleague that I was on with lazy bastards that don't do anything and have had all day and done nothing with the time that we've had. And she came over and told us, and I was raging, rightly so. I went and complained to my manager, and the response was, well, I mean, you didn't stock up those 6 bottles of Buckfast, so.
Good fucking God.
And I was like, sorry? It was like, well, you didn't stock up the 6 bottles of Buckfast. Yes. Whether the shop was fucking empty, there is no reason that an area manager, fucking air quotes, a professional should be speaking to a new member of staff who's just started and calling us lazy bastards. It's just you just don't do that. And it's me that's made the complaint, and now you're complaining to me over something that is irrelevant to what's going on. And the manager's like, well, I don't think she should be coming over and saying that. I think she's new. She should know better. What? So if something bad happens because she's new, she shouldn't come over and say anything. So it's just a culture of silence. So you just get treated like shit, and you just put up with it, and that's it. Okay, fucking pieces of shit.
What the thing is, Dan, what you're forgetting is you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and start a business from scratch.
Fucking wanks, honestly.
Well, no, I think we do sometimes both need a bit of a cathartic.
We do.
Shout into the void, where we complain about something that's happened in our lives. And
trademark.
I can very much. Yeah, it's not trademarked. I can't afford to trademark something, but
no.
But I think you're completely right that is disgusting behaviour, and I think we do both need a bit of a shout into the void about something like that every now and then.
Yeah, we do. So sorry that you were lumbered with that, folks, for our Freudian slips. But yeah. Anyway, let's cheer ourselves up and let's talk about
a kids' film.
Let's talk about a lovely film. We are talking about Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And it was written by Steve Box and Nick Park and some other people, but no. And it was also directed by Nick Park and Steve Box. I don't know why I've wrote Nick Park first and on the second line, and Steve Box said, I don't, you know, it's just one of those. It's a roller coaster here, yeah. And it's
Sorry, go on.
And it's starring Peter Sallis, Helena Bonham Carter, Rafe Fiennes, Peter Kay, Nicholas Smith, and Mark Gatiss.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
Right. Have we got an opening statement, cock?
I do. Did you just call me a cock?
Have we got an opening statement, you dickhead?
You got an opening... you got an opening statement, you fucking dickhead. An utterly charming film that is as funny can be. Great performances, and really all that needs to be said is if you're looking for a nice time, just watch the film.
I absolutely couldn't agree more. It's such a wonderful film. I love all of the Aardman movies, but Wallace and Gromit, and especially this one, hold a bit of a special place in my heart. I think it's the dialogue is funny. There's a lot of physical comedy in a strange way, even though it's not actual physical bodies doing the comedy. But it's just so good. Everything about this film is really good.
It is.
I genuinely think I could not pick a fault with it if I tried. Like it just looks amazing. The dialogue's amazing. Even the music in the background is utterly fantastic. It's really good.
It is.
Watch this film if you haven't. If you haven't, I'm not sure why you're listening. Maybe you just like the sound of our voices.
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably not. I sound disgusting. But yeah, it's an absolute classic of a film. Right, we've got some CRQs, some CRSs, some CRJs.
Yeah, I mean, I just got hit with a wave of nostalgia when I watched this film, because I went to see it in the cinema when it came out, and like, it's funny when you watch something again and you remember all the shit, just the little thing. Like I'd completely forgotten about the golden carrot, and then at the end where he's like, it clicks into my head. Oh, he's going to use a golden carrot, isn't he? And then, sure enough, he did. So that. You know, that was nice, reliving my childhood, a simpler time, happier time. But anyway, it makes me happy that Wallace and Gromit take milk with their tea.
Does it?
Yeah.
Why does that detail so specifically make you happy?
Because I take milk with my tea, and it makes me identify with the characters more. And
I suppose that's good. Yeah.
I suppose when you think of the north of England, I can't actually think of tea without milk in it for some reason.
No, neither can I. The only tea I wouldn't have milk. I mean, I don't drink milk very much. I have it like with cereal. I have it in food.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't. I don't really drink black tea very much anyway. I drink coffee more than I do anything else.
Yeah.
So I don't have milk in that. But no, I know exactly what you mean. If I was making a cup of tea for someone, I would put milk in it, and I would not question that.
Yeah.
Does that make? Yeah.
I agree.
There's right. There are so many things that I love about these Wallace and Gromit films, and before I do dive into absolutely praising them, I want to say very quickly there is a documentary on Netflix about Aardman, and it's really fucking good. It's got, I think they bought it out just after that Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists, which was like an Aardman movie.
Oh shit! Was that with David Tennant as
Yes, it was.
What's his name? Charles Darwin.
Yes, and David Tennant is in the documentary, and so's Martin Freeman, Timothy Spall, Nick Park, loads and loads and loads of people, and they sort of tell the story of Aardman and all this sort of stuff, and it's really good. If you like animation, films, comedy, anything, you will like the documentary. It's really engaging, really entertaining. But there's this two things that sort of stuck with me. Is that Nick Park, who is in the documentary and does a few like sort of interviewee type bits, he is a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
He just seems like an absolute gem. Like he's like, they ask him questions and he's like, oh yes, well I suppose it's okay. and he just seems really modest, but he's also really skilled, obviously, and he just seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
Also, did you know Nick Park had a cameo in The Simpsons?
No, I did.
Yeah, he did. The Simpsons, for some reason, went to the Oscars, and Nick Park was there. And he shook Lisa's hand, and Lisa managed to pull his fingers off in the handshake.
Oh.
And he goes, oh no, that's all right. And he takes them off her, puts them back on, and says, I'm more clay than man now. And he's sort of moulding them back onto his hand. It just really tickled me. But that was actually Nick Park, playing Nick Park in The Simpsons, and I just thought that's really good. But the other thing was the idea of what I think makes Wallace and Gromit great is it's the mundanity of what they do is so brilliantly juxtaposed by the ridiculous way that they go about it.
Yeah.
Because if they owned a pest control company in a village in... Where is Wallace and Gromit set? I've had this conversation many times with myself. I think it's...
Wensleydale.
Wensleydale, the place? Really?
I think so.
I don't know.
I mean, they mentioned the cheese Wensleydale, so I don't know if it's...
Where is Wallace and Gromit set? Wigan.
Wigan. Oh.
So if you were running a pest control company in Wigan, and you were just selling, I don't know, rat traps and rabbit poison, and that was what you were selling, that's kind of a mundane existence in a way. Like, you can see one of the people on their houses on Coronation Street might be doing that with their time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they've got, like, that ridiculous van, and they're leaping through the house on those bed contraptions, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what makes it such an engaging thing, is it's something relatable turned up to 12. Do you know what I mean?
The sort of pest control thing in Coronation Street, that's when, like, all the good storylines have, like, dried up, and, like, the writers are like, okay, what do we do? Ah! One of our characters becomes a pest control person. Yes, I've got, that's it. And then you know, like, I don't know if you watch soaps, but you know, like, in I don't know if you know, like, Hollyoaks. Let's see, at the end of, like, every season, there's, like, a massive fucking purge of characters. The writers,
right,
for whatever reason, there's just a massive accident that day, and a lot of people just snuff it. So it's like, I think Coronation Street's the same. Like, maybe the pub blows up or something like that. So I think...
Yeah, there was that really horrific one where the tram came off the tracks and, like, ploughed through 3 houses.
Yeah, I mean, we've never...
I remember that was really horrific.
They'd never seen a tram before in this show, but then suddenly, boom. Oh, but yeah, so it's maybe a lot of characters are going to die from, like, rat poisoning or something like that.
Well, on that cheery note, I'd like to talk about...
I think it is quite cheery. I think it'd be a very whimsical way to end the show.
A whimsical... Sorry, I've just got this idea now of, like, Peter Barlow or what's his name? The one who's been doing it since the first episode. He's quite old now. Bill Roach.
Yeah.
He comes home and he's like, "Hi everyone, I've decided to become a pest control expert," and then he kills everyone on the street with rat poison.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would be a cheery, upbeat episode of Corrie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it would end with abolishing the monarchy, and then they just feel that really shit.
Sorry, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, maybe
how does abolishing the monarchy link to
the monarchy's abolished, right? Because their entire thing is that it was I'm assuming that I've not really watched it as much. I'm assuming that Queen Elizabeth went along that street, and that's why it's called Coronation Street. Did they mention that?
I have no idea. They might mention. Right, here we fucking go.
So Queen Elizabeth gets Queen Elizabeth gets dethroned, and then they all feel shit. That's how it ends. Great ending.
Why is it Coronation Street?
Best ending.
Here we go. He was working on... No. He had to alter the title of Florizel Street was what it was originally going to be called. And then thought of Jubilee, but there was already a series with the name Jubilee, so he came up with Coronation Street. They just came up with it, apparently.
Alright, so there's nothing. It's nothing to do with the Queen going through then.
It doesn't seem to be, no.
Oh well, that would have been good. Because that's the way...
Yeah, it probably would have been.
I would have taken over showrunner and then just ended it like that. Everyone's like, oh well, guess we better rename the street then.
Yes, Danny. I want to briefly talk about how sort of funny Wallace and Gromit is in a strange way.
Sorry.
It's okay. I think the thing that really sticks with me about Wallace and Gromit is the physical comedy. Despite the fact they are plasticine figures, somehow it's really, really good, high quality, well executed physical comedy.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the thing that wakes Wallace up in this is an arm that comes out of it. There's like a little picture of a piece of cheese that lifts up, and a little arm comes out of the window, waves a piece of cheese in front of his head, which wakes him up because the smell of cheese is so enticing to him.
Yeah.
And then the cheese quickly withdraws back into the wall, and Wallace follows it, smacking his head into the wall, which fully wakes him up. It's just so... It's such a bizarre, ridiculous thing, but it's also so absurdly hilarious.
Yeah.
Such a really well executed, stupid bit of physical comedy, which I really loved.
I do have to say, I mean, forget Star Wars, forget the Avengers. See the amount of work that goes into making something like this. Like, is it all stop motion?
Yeah, it is.
Holy fuck! I mean,
so's Chicken Run. And Flushed Away was CGI, but yeah, the other two are plasticine and stop motion. Yeah,
I've got to say, I mean, I don't know if anyone used to do this. If you had like wee Lego people,
I did. Yeah,
used to do.
I've got like a little Dropbox folder full of little 30-second movies.
Do you know how fucking long it takes? I thought I did it for like 20 minutes, moving a guy's arm up, and like it didn't even look that good because like that wasn't slow enough. You know, it was. I'd taken too many liberties with how fast I was moving it, and it looked shite. But oh my god, if that's like just stop motion, the amount of work, and not to mention the sets and the fact that they're all made of plasticine.
The set pieces in Wallace and Gromit are amazing.
Is it plasticine or clay?
It's plasticine. I think in the US, I think plasticine obviously still exists in the US. You don't just like put a lump of it in your hand and the second you cross the border it evaporates. But I think it's called something different, so I think it was easier to just call it clay in The Simpsons. But yeah, Nick Park always refers to plasticine, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Plasticine. Cool. It's a putty-like modelling material. Yeah, plasticine. Everyone knows what plasticine is.
There we go.
Modelling clay might be the American term for it. I'm not sure.
Modelling clay. There you go. Modelling clay. There you go. That's for the American listeners.
Yeah. So just so you figured, just so we've sorted that one out for you. Yeah, we have plasticine. And you've got modelling clay. Is that perfect, Dan? Did I nail that one?
Nailed it.
Am I going to get that part in the American drama that I've self-taped for?
Oh, I've done an American self-tape as well.
Anyway,
it's a small world. It's a small world.
Indeed, it is a small world.
I like Hutch. I really like Hutch.
Hutch is a great rabbit. Yeah.
When he sort of turns into Wallace and like.
Yes.
Gromit is struggling to stay alive, and Hutch just goes, "Night, Gromit." Just goes.
Oh god, the bit that gets me is that sort of carrot made out of circuitry.
Yeah,
it's just such a brilliant, weird thing, but so brilliant. Plus the little physical inaccuracies of this world or inconsistencies that are just sort of, instead of being annoying, they're just charming.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the bulbs in the paintings. You think, like that where the lights are. Uh-huh. So the idea is, such and such presses the button, and then, we've got to go to Mrs. whoever's house and defend it from rabbits trying to eat her enormous courgettes.
Yeah.
Or whatever it might be. And you'd think, okay, you put the picture on the wall and then screw the bulbs in, because the bulbs are physically bigger than the holes in the painting.
Yeah.
But then you see Wallace screwing these bulbs in, and you see him slowly pushing this painting towards the wall. You think, well, are you going to get it over those bulbs? And then for the last second, he just goes, and he just like flicks it onto the wall, and the bulbs just pop through, and it's just these tiny little charming things. The other one that got me was when they were driving, chasing the were-rabbit, and Gromit pressed the lasso button. And the bonnet just opened, and a hand with a lasso just comes out of the bonnet and starts spinning it around and automatically like targets the rabbit. And it's so brilliantly physical in a weird way.
I love when like they're under the ground. There's a loam option. It's not even like there's like a sort of a dial or something like with loads. There's 3 options and one of them is loam. It's so good.
It's the one thing I do want to say. Another thing, I keep saying that, the one thing. Another thing I want to say about Wallace and Gromit is it's weirdly quintessentially British.
Yeah.
In a very indefinable way. I think the best example I've got is apparently when they were working on. I think it might have been Were-Rabbit, or it might have been another one, but the van that they're driving around is rusty.
Yeah. And
they were working in collaboration with DreamWorks on this particular movie that they were making. And the American producers and stuff were all saying, well, why is the van rusty? Why is the van rusty? Why is it beaten down? Why does the house need decorating? Why isn't it like beautiful and perfect?
Yeah.
And Nick Park was like, well, I mean, I know why it needs to be rusty or a bit beaten down, but it's hard to articulate what makes that such a quintessentially relatably British thing that he's driving a little rusty van round. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's something about the pluckiness of Wallace and Gromit.
There's some. I think there's a unique sort of kinship and admiration for, just in British culture. I think there's a sort of yearning for a sort of simple, everyday, salt of the earth, sort of remarkable sort of person, and it's like that's where we sort of identify most with. Like like when people think of Britain that aren't from Britain, I'm sure they think of like tea and the Queen and like
like the frog, the toad from Flushed Away.
Yeah, like the royal guards with the big hats. See if like everyone that thought of Britain thought of like Wallace and Gromit. I just think the world would be like just improved, like
I know
tremendously.
precisely what you mean. Yeah,
it's just such a wholesome sort of. Like we don't know anything that's going on outside of Wigan. It's just, a simple, lovely guy and his dog just try to make his own little community a bit better, and it's kooky and it's wholesome and it's funny and it's witty and it doesn't take itself so seriously. I think that's what I would like people to identify as with.
I completely agree. I think Wallace and Gromit does identify that very British desire for a straightforward life, not a simple one or an easy one, but a straightforward one.
Yeah,
which I think it's a very British thing in a strange way.
I think so.
Like, I do adore Wallace and Gromit. I really truly do. I have to say I love the very simple, but they always get me, the sort of misunderstanding jokes.
Yeah.
There are two that really get me in this, where Wallace stands up and he says, "We'll be there in an hour," and he gets picked up through the ceiling.
An hour?
Lady Tottington, "An hour? I can't wait an hour." And I just think that's utterly hilarious. And the other one is, "I would like to pay." It says, "To pay? Oh, brilliant! We take checks or cash." And the other one is, "No, my hair. Oh no, it's only rabbits in there. Hairs are much bigger." It's just such a silly. It's so silly, but it's so brilliantly relatable in a weird. Oh, I just love it. I love Wallace and Gromit. It's so good.
I've got to say, when did Victor get his hair back? Because
maybe he has like a little cupboard full of them.
Maybe because what happened to the wee rabbit that was on his head? Where did it go?
The rabbits in this film seem to have some kind of super intelligence, at least for rabbits.
Yeah.
Because they're at least as sentient as Gromit. And he's like essentially human level intelligence, probably higher because he's.
I mean, much higher. He can do shit that I couldn't dream of doing.
Yeah, that's true. Like in A Grand Day Out, when he's like riveting the panels of the spaceship together. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but yeah.
One. I do want to do a bit of an honourable mention, if that's okay, Dan.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're talking about the specific Wallace and Gromit film, Curse the Were-Rabbit. And I know you haven't seen it, Dan, but in my personal opinion, I think an honourable mention deserves to go to The Wrong Trousers, which is another Wallace and Gromit movie. I think it's only about half an hour long. It is on Netflix.
Yep.
But I genuinely believe that Feathers McGraw, who is the villain in that movie, is the most chilling, horrifying villain in any piece of media in the world.
Wow.
Worse than Hannibal Lecter, Dolores Umbridge.
Wow.
Feathers McGraw is the most chilling villain that I've ever seen. He's essentially,
Holy
Dan,
shit.
I hope you don't mind if I spoil it for you.
No, go on.
Essentially, he's a penguin who is also an international jewel thief.
Right. Right.
And he hatches this plan where, basically, for Gromit's birthday, Wallace buys him this pair of robotic trousers, so that Gromit can put the leash, attach it to the trousers and attach it to his collar, and he can go for a walk, and Wallace can stay at home and eat some cheese or whatever.
Yeah.
And Feathers McGraw, the international jewel thief / penguin, is he comes to stay at the house because they decide they need to rent out a room to make ends meet, sort of thing. And immediately upon entering the house, he gets shown the room that they're renting out, and he just sort of looks at it. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't have a mouth, but he just sort of looks at it and then turns away, walks to another room, and claims Gromit's bedroom as his own.
Oh.
And then he decorates, puts the radio on really loud, and he just sort of he immediately starts sucking up to Wallace and sort of pushing Gromit out of the equation and stuff. And it's this really sort of wicked, twisted penguin in a weird way.
Yeah.
And for me, the climax of it is there's this bit right at the end where, using these robotic trousers, he puts Wallace into them, using this elaborate contraption that Wallace has rigged up that's supposed to have normal trousers in it, but actually has robot trousers. And Wallace falls asleep in these trousers due to a series of events. And
right.
Then the international jewel thief, the Penguin, takes Wallace in these trousers to the local museum where a huge diamond is currently on display.
Yep.
And he breaks into the museum and uses these trousers which can suction cup onto walls. He climbs up the side of the building and in through the ceiling and steals this diamond and all this. And the Penguin's disguise is to put a rubber glove on his head.
Oh, that's clever.
Like a 5-fingered rubber glove. So, chickens.
Yeah.
How they have cockerels and they have that red thing, and that's what they do. They put the red rubber glove on his head, and he puts the rubber glove on the first time, looks at himself in a mirror, and he just takes one of his flippers and slicks it back. And it's that cruel little bit of humanity and vanity that this penguin has, and he's just yes, I'm deliberately stealing a priceless diamond. It's
wow.
I absolutely love it. The villain is the best characterization, better than Moriarty.
Oh my god.
Hannibal Lecter. It's chilling.
I'll need to give it a watch now. I mean, this you've bigged it up so much that I it better be good, because if it isn't,
mate, it won an Oscar.
It won an Oscar.
Essentially, every Wallace and Gromit ever has won an Oscar.
Quite
yeah.
Right. Quite.
This one won Best Animated Picture, I think.
I would say so. That makes sense.
And I think it was either The Wrong Trousers or A Close Shave that the category of Best Animated Picture was created for.
Yeah. Wow.
Or something like that. And it's utterly fantastic. If you don't want to commit for some reason to watching a whole half hour of brilliance, then check out the model train chase scene from The Wrong Trousers. It's probably on YouTube or something. It's utterly incredible. It's no, it's just brilliant.
Does Aardman do Pingu?
I don't think so.
Who does Pingu? Because maybe that's Feathers McGraw.
Feathers McGraw. It might be, although Pingu does speak.
Does he?
He sort of goes meow 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 meow.
Oh, maybe he just lost his speech. Maybe that was his humanity, and it just ebbed away over time.
All of Pingu's family are named similar names to Pingu. There's Pingy, Pinga, Ping, Pingo, Pongy, Pingu, grandfather.
Isn't that one of the first rules of writing? You don't name characters similarly, because then it gets confusing and nobody wants to watch it or something like that.
Probably, yeah. That's something I'd really bloody struggle with. In I don't get it so much in films and TV, because I sort of recognise people's faces, but in prose books I really struggle with that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a book that's been translated into English. Like a lot of, say, Nordic names or whatever, to me might sound quite similar. Or when I'm reading them in my head and thinking, oh, that looks very similar to this, and the pronunciation might be utterly different.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks similar enough that I'm just thinking, so this person is both the policeman and the murderer. Well, I'm just utterly confused. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I really like A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, and because it's meant to be a historical sort of thing, in history, there were a lot of people with the same names. There were about 18 Edwards and 15 Henrys and all that. So he's got 60 Johns and 60 Tyrians and stuff. He doesn't have 60 Tyrians, but he's got a lot of names that are very similar to each other.
Have I told you my? Almost certainly I have. We've done 55 of these, but.
Oh shit! So we have fucking hell.
Yeah, I know, isn't that mental? But have I told you my theory that George R.R. Martin is never going to finish Game of Thrones?
You have told me that.
I just because it's better to say, oh, this cultural phenomenon that I created, and oh, he tragically died before he could finish it. That's a sort of a better story in a way than, oh, well, it ended and it was all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
George R.R. Martin was once asked that question. Unbelievably, someone had the nerve to go up their back.
Oh, lovely.
Someone had the nerve to ask him, do you think you'll die before you finish the books? And he said, anyone that asks that question can go fuck themselves. So,
what a polite, dignified way to respond to that question.
I mean, to be fair, look, the only use we have of you is your books. Please don't die before you finish. As long as you finish them, then you can fucking die. I mean, that's the essence of what people ask. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
And there's a lot of sort of selfish people that are just like, oh, hurry up and finish the books before you keel over. Jesus Christ, it's like so horrible. It's like, but yeah. Is Aardman pro nun super secret action squad?
I think they are pro. Oh God, what was it? Covert non-attack squad.
Covert
I think they are pro covert non-attack
squad because of the vicar's what do you call it?
Sort of collection of reliquaries.
Is there nuns in Protestantism?
I have absolutely no idea.
Because do you get Catholic vicars? I don't think you do.
Isn't the whole point that because it's the opposite way around to what you'd think? Because Vicar of Dibley is a woman, and it's only female preachers aren't allowed in Catholicism. So yeah, that's why I have to remember it is with the help of Dawn French. So yes, the vicar must be Catholic.
Oh, well there you go. I didn't know that.
Although I have to say, when oh God, what's his fucking name? Ralph Fiennes.
Oh no, Rafe.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, but he fucking. There's been interviews where he's been like, "It's Rafe."
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, isn't it spelled?
It's spelt Ralph, but he says it's Rafe.
Yes, it is.
I think people just sort of do it to please him. Then he's like, okay, Rafe.
Well, either way, Rafe Fiennes, when that character bursts in on the vicar as if to say, "Have you got any golden bullets?" and all this sort of stuff. The vicar is reading a magazine. Danny, did you by any chance spy the title of that magazine?
No, I didn't. I only saw it's the nun one, isn't it?
Yes, nun wrestling.
Yeah, nun wrestling, yeah. I thought there was another one, but yeah.
So, I think that is a conclusive evidence that the covert non-attack squad exists in the Wallace and Gromit universe.
There's different...
The WGU.
And not to mention the Sound of Music as well.
Yes. By extension, yes.
Yep, there's branches all over the globe. Oh God, how do you solve a problem like Victor? God.
I have a question.
Yep.
Does the vicar have any of Hellboy's weaponry?
Fuck's
Because Hellboy's
whole thing,
I
don't think so.
In the Del Toro films, is that he's got that gun. What does he call it? The Peacemaker, it's called, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the Lawmaker, or it's called something like that. And the bullets that he uses, he's like he picks them up and says, "Yeah, these are my so they'll kill anything. They've got like some holy water, some silver, some garlic, and he's like my own special reliquary stuff and all this." So I think maybe the vicar also. Oh, maybe the vicar is John Hurt from Hellboy.
Maybe
I figured it out. I have figured it out.
So all these universes are weirdly interconnected. The Sound of Music is connected through the nuns. Hellboy is now part of the Wallace and Gromit universe. Jesus Christ. Maybe Chicken Run is set in the same universe as well.
Yeah, probably.
It probably is. It's probably like over the moors. It's probably like next door.
Yeah, because I would imagine because there are dogs in. Are there dogs in Chicken Run? Yeah, there are dogs in Chicken Run.
Yeah, it's far more dark Chicken Run, like a lot darker.
Yeah, it is.
What's is it? Mrs. Tweedy, who's the?
Oh yeah.
She.
Mrs. Tweedy.
Listen. I've not seen Feathers McGraw yet, right? But she is fucking terrifying.
Yes, she is terrifying. It's the ruthlessness of her.
It's almost like she's an animal. At points, like she growls and fucking. But we'll get to that. We'll get to her.
Tony, that's the slogan of the other show. Come on.
We'll get to Mrs. Tweedy's growling. That's going to be an actual point in my notes. Mrs. Tweedy's growling.
I have no problem believing it will be. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. I particularly like all of the sight gags in Were Rabbit, but my favourite one is when they're in the church and the policeman stood up in front of all the people that are there complaining about anti-pesto. He takes off his hat and his head reaches to the end of the hat, and he has this bizarrely shaped head, and it's just utterly hilarious.
He's voiced by Peter Kay, I think.
Yeah. Oi! Stop that! You're mental. I just like I did the dramatic organ music. Stop that!
Oh. I have no problem believing that Peter Kay probably just added that in and was just like, you're mental.
Yeah, I have no problem with that either. That's utterly funny and believable.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, watch my artichokes. Is that one?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
There's a joke. There's a lot of sort of euphemistic vegetable jokes in this. The only vegetables I'm looking at are you two, or something like that.
Yes, and what's the other one? The Lady Tottington one. She's walking up behind like a melon plant. And it's like something out of a Carry On film. And she says, well, Victor doesn't seem interested in my produce. And just as she says that, she steps behind the melons, so they're like in a suggested place.
Yeah.
It's just it's so stupid, but I love it.
Yeah. Very, very, very funny.
I know we've spoken a lot about the start of this film, but we're going to do some more of that.
Go on.
I like that so much is said in that initial journey out to the garden to catch that rabbit at the start. So much is said without any words being spoken. You know, sort of the inherent sort of trust between Wallace and Gromit, and the tea that they're drinking, and it's just all so relatably brilliant.
Yep. I've got to say, see with all this surveillance equipment, Wallace and Gromit could easily just become like the dictators of Wigan. They could just set up camp, just cordon it all off with little gnomes.
It's a good job they're like
brainwash the rabbits.
Generally kind, sweet people, I suppose.
Brainwash the rabbits to like a private militia. I mean, there you go. It's the Animal Farm. I mean, you know when?
Yeah, I mean, in a funny way.
When Napoleon trains those dogs. It's like, yeah. I mean, it's not like Animal Farm. Maybe Animal Farm's set in the same universe.
Maybe it is. Do we see any pigs? I suppose because Shaun the Sheep is in the same universe.
Yeah.
So, there are pigs on that farm, surely.
Yeah, probably.
Are there sheep in Animal Farm?
I can't remember.
Shaun the Sheep pigs. We're taking the existence of... Yes, there are pigs.
Oh! Well, there you go.
And if I remember right, they're kind of dickheads as well. The naughty pigs, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how I'm calling them dickheads, in spite of the fact
they're
this is a children's show
they're dickheads.
Targeted at children. And I'm just like, yeah, these dickhead pigs.
Shaun the Sheep.
Mocking, cantankerous and greedy. That is Napoleon, if ever I've heard it. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, a million times worse.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, Napoleon's... He's a bit more extreme, bit more. We should do Animal Farm. Animal Farm's good. We haven't done a book since like 1984. Maybe we should just keep to the trend.
Are the only books we're ever going to be George Orwell?
Yeah,
books?
and then it's Down and Out in Paris, and another one that I can't think of, but I'll pretend that I've read if someone asks me.
Well, Danny, of course, we all know that the other book is homage to Catalonia.
Yeah, of course.
Down and Out in Paris and London, The Road to Wigan Pier.
There we go. That's it. Confirmed.
That cements it.
Confirmed, folks.
Yep. We're taking the existence of Wigan to mean that both of these places exist.
Okay.
In a shared universe.
Are you ready for an even bigger reveal?
I'm ready for a hot take.
Wallace's big brother.
That is an incredibly hot take.
And all the surveillance equipment is then used to create Oceania.
Okay, so what does that make Gromit?
I don't.
O'Brien.
No, yeah, Brian from Family Guy.
Oh God! So that means that Family Guy. Must
Oh no!
And Dad is as well, and then The Simpsons.
And Futurama. Fuck! It's never ending. Where does it end?
Oh God! Right, Cochrane. I think I might have run out of CRQs. Have you got anything else?
Let's see. Why does Gromit sometimes walk on 4 legs but then 2?
That is a really good point. Because it's not more stealthy to walk on one or the other.
No.
I mean, if you're a human, it's probably more stealthy to walk on 2 legs. 'Cause if you're in the street walking on 4 legs, people might just be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
That's a good point. Sometimes he walks on 2, sometimes he walks on 4.
It's not a riddle.
No, I know, but I'm trying to put the pieces together. I'm trying to think of a time he's walked on 2 legs.
At breakfast. When he's
he's pushing the cart along, when he's chopping the carrots.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
And then a time he's walked on 4 legs would be
when he's looking at the footprints.
Yeah. I don't know. Nick Park. What's going on, mate?
Explain.
Explain, Nick Park. Sort it out.
And my last note is campanula.
But what?
Whatever Totty's name is. What's her full name?
Right, hang on.
Campanula?
Lady Tottington. Lady Campanula Tottington.
What the fuck kind of name is that, mate?
I would imagine Campanula is a type of flower because she likes gardening and stuff. I don't know.
Google. There you go. That's
Campanula.
perfect.
Yeah, they're called bellflowers.
Oh.
There you go.
God, it's actually so well written. It just is. It's just so well
written. It's great.
It's like, rather than just saying like a name like Joyce or Margaret or something like that, they've actually had to think it. What's a flower? Maybe a flower. She likes gardening. There you go. Done.
Yeah, precisely.
That's beautiful.
They're all brilliant characters. It's all just brilliant. Right? Yeah, we've run out of CRQs now. I think. Have you got?
I have
a closing statement or a closing. I don't know, something else. A character assassination of Gromit.
Closing dance routine.
Yes, if you do have a closing dance routine, I'd love to see it.
Well, maybe one day when.
Well, it's an audio format, so the audience wouldn't see it. So if you do it now, and I'll tell you just how. Wow, that is amazing. That's incredible.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't realise you could do a triple backflip from standing still. That's incredible, Dan. Wow.
Yep. An expertly done piece of animation that could be watched and enjoyed by anyone, anywhere. I love cheese as well, but not slices, oddly. Just grated. Strange.
Right. I have a quick question about cheese.
Oh, go on.
When you say you only like grated cheese and not sliced, is that for all cheeses?
Yeah.
So
I can't eat
feta or halloumi or...
Yeah, I can only eat sliced... no, not sliced. Not sliced. I can only eat grated cheese for some reason.
That is very strange. Pre-grated or grated by your own hand?
Either or.
I see. That is extremely odd. I'm enthralled by the bizarreness of that.
Because when we had macaroni cheese at yours, if you'd have put slices in, just and let them melt, I would have been fucking raging.
Thrown it on the floor.
I would have spat on it. I would have ran out the house and hired a skip.
Which you do not believe exists.
No. Do you have a closing statement?
I do. An utterly lovely film that shows you... It's a masterclass in everything that you could... In a lot of ways, in everything you could want to know about filmmaking. It's real light hitting real materials, which is more than there can be said for like a lot of other computer-generated animated films.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the writing, the acting, the modelling. All of it's fantastic, and I could watch this film endlessly and still enjoy it.
I agree. Well, that was Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. What?
Rabbit? Were-Rabbit.
I've got to say, beware the moon. When he's swinging along the church spire. Oh, that's so good. For those that don't understand that joke, Victor was accidentally mooning because of a series of events, and the vicar was like, beware the moon. I found that quite funny, so there you go. I'll let you have that one. Take that home with you. Tell that to your friends.
Tell it to your friends and see how many of them are still your friends after you've gone through and explained.
Hey guys!
Extremely laborious joke.
Hey guys, you missed me? I've got a good one for you. Beware the moon! Without any context whatsoever.
Just look at you and go,
What?
Fuck off.
What? Hey guys, ooh-ah up the rah. What?
What part of England are they from again? That's Scotland!
Where? Sorry? Where, Lewis?
Scotland.
Yeah.
Sorry, you couldn't hear through my flawless accent there. Sorry.
Christ. Okay, so let's...
Almost as good as Mark Strong's flawless Scottish accent in Kingsman.
I mean, it's not as...
Or Mel Gibson's flawless Scottish accent in Braveheart.
I mean, I've got... Mark Strong's accent isn't as bad as Mel Gibson's accent in Braveheart.
No.
The colour to play is 3N. And 3N's you are. What? What's this person saying?
Well, knowing a little bit about Mel Gibson, that's quite enough about Mel Gibson.
Yes, quite fucking right. I'm on Insta. All right, are you okay?
Sorry, yeah, I picked up my bottle to drink something and smacked it against my computer.
Did you hit your head off of a portrait of cheese?
Yes, I did. That's how I woke myself up.
No, Chloe just fucking whacked you in the face with a portrait of cheese to wake you up. Wake up! I'm on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K. Actor. I'm on Twitter at Gerzer2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Twitter at LewisBrindley4. I'm on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. And I am on Facebook at Lewis Brindley.
Yes.
And also, we have a Facebook page for the show, which is called Shouting Into the Void, which is very nice. We named it that because that's what the show's called, in case you couldn't put those two together.
Quite right.
We hope you like the Facebook page. Feel free to go on there and post something. Be like, oh hey, I like Wallace and Gromit too, haha. Yeah, and we'll respond and be like, yeah, we do too, it's great.
We still haven't figured out how that works, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, if you can figure it out, you are a better person than either of us.
Definitely, that goes without saying. We're on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel, we're on Deezer, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts. We have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated. We know it's difficult times at the moment, and yeah, anything you could spare would be fantastic. So yeah, thank you. We also have Patreon, and we want to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful patrons: Chloe,
thank you;
Darius,
thank you;
Sophie,
thank you;
Peter,
thank you;
Aditya,
thank you;
and of course Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. You make this show possible, and we greatly appreciate you.
Yes, we very much do appreciate you. There are a billion little tiny costs that you wouldn't expect associated with running a podcast, and for that reason you make this show possible. So thank you very, very much.
Definitely. We also have merch. We are on Teespring and Redbubble. We also have merch. We're on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell t-shirts, tote bags, jumpers, mugs, stickers, all sorts of things. Go on there, see what tickles your fancy, and buy something. And even if you're not going to, just look. It's lovely anyway.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a treat for the eye.
Definitely. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with a fantabulous company. I've just made that up. Fantabulous trademark. Fantabulous company.
Fantabulous.
Called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis has a glowing review of their Instagram and their products, and it's all true. So please listen.
Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my wife where she crochets things, and she's very, very good at it. At the minute she's doing lots and lots of little bits of Christmassy things, and we are in the run up to Christmas, so go and take a look. The Instagram is at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It's those words, no numbers, no punctuation, just those words. Go and take a look, give her a follow, give her a like, and take a look. That would mean the world to me, to her, to everybody in the universe. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that was Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Indeed it was.
What are we doing next week, Lewis?
We are doing Chicken Run.
Woo!
Chickens and running.
Yeah, what could go better? That's
and chickens and running.
That's literally my diet.
Chickens and running.
Chicken and running.
39 jars of pickled onions.
39 jars of pickled onions. I love how I said, yeah, you could eat up to that, and you just immediately said, yeah, he's been eating 39 jars a day.
The thing is, the fact that you said, yeah, you can eat up to 39 jars of pickled onions, I presumed you were eating a vast quantity of pickled onions.
No, I'm just saying that they're good snacks to have when you're hungry, because you can eat up to 39 jars of them, so you won't overdo it, because you've got so many that you can eat.
Well, there we go.
Jesus Christ.
So there you go, listeners. To lose some weight, eat 39 jars of pickled onions today.
And only that.
And only that.
Yeah.
You might experience some distress. To be honest with you, I would be surprised if you didn't.
Yeah.
After eating 39 jars of pickled onions.
Okay, do not eat 39 jars of pickled onions, okay? Don't do it. Lewis somehow thinks that I do that. I don't. No one does it. You'd be dead, okay?
Yes, he does. He eats 39
No, I don't!
He does. He eats 39 jars of pickled onions a day.
Oh, okay.
See what I'll do, Dan? What I'll do is I'll come in January when the weather's nice again. I'll plant some onions.
January?
Yes.
What fucking country do you live in? When the weather's nice in January? I've never been in a January in my life where the weather has been nice. Okay.
I mean, to start gardening again. So in the springtime, when the weather's getting nice again,
right.
I'll plant some onions and I'll grow some onions, and then I'll pickle plenty of onions for you, and I'll send you up a big crate of jars of pickled onions up to Scotland for you.
You could just go to Scotland and just with a co-op and just buy a jar. You know.
You could, but I'm taking care of you, Dan. I'm shipping
you could
39 jars of pickled onions a day.
You could, but why wouldn't you want to wait until spring, until I finally have the weather to do it, and then pickle all of them and send them up, costing me a lot of shipping money, and then you have nowhere to store them.
Own subpar pickled onions.
Oh, Lord. Fuck's sake. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week with a Chicken Run.
Chicken Run. We'll be back then. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you then. Bye.
Goodbye.